Here's a quick primer on what to do in some of the worst situations. Find out why sucking out snake venom is not the right move, and also find out why you do not want to run from a bear. Number 12. Chased by bees. Although it may seem cartoonish, getting chased by bees is no joke. If a swarm of bees is after you, you're in a dangerous situation. So, you're getting chased by bees. What now? Never jump into a pool of water. Bees will just wait for you to emerge. Run as fast as you can for somewhere indoors, preferably a car. You may have to run as far as a quarter mile from where you accidentally made them mad. The best way to not get into a situation like this is to just stay away from bees. Like most animals in the wild, they want nothing to do with humans. Obviously, stay away from beehives. Never approach a nest. If bees start to swarm around you, do not swat at them. Just leave. Swatting at them triggers them to start stinging. A bee sting has a two-pronged effect. The first one is obvious. The second is that stinging releases a tagging pheromone that attracts other bees, leading to more stings. So if you're ever accidentally disturbing a nest, run immediately. Also, do us a quick favor. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like button. Number 11, shark attack. So, you're in the water, and there's a shark that looks like it wants a piece of you. What's your play here? As crazy as this sounds, if an aggressive shark is swimming towards you and there's no boat nearby, you have to match its aggression. You're supposed to swim confidently right towards the shark while shouting at it in the water, and it'll most likely turn around right at the last minute. If you find yourself around a bunch of dangerous sharks, but they don't look aggressive yet, whatever you do, don't scream, flail, or panic. Easier said than done, but sharks can sense your terror and they'll start seeing you as prey. Swim back to the boat or shore with as much strength and confidence as you can, but don't rush and try not to splash. If a shark actually has you in its bite, then you'll have to go for the gills and the eyes. Most of the time, they'll release you anyways, but at this point, you'll have to do whatever you have to do. Before we get to the next entry, it's time for a quiz. See how much you know about sharks. All right, which of the following is not true about sharks? Is it A, sharks never run out of teeth? Or is it B, the whale shark is the largest shark and the largest fish in the world? What about C? Whale sharks have the largest brain to body weight ratio of any fish. Or is it D, sharks do not have bones? Find out the answer later in this video. Number 10, getting the plague. Did you guys know that it's still possible to get the plague? A couple in Mongolia recently got bubonic plague because of a marmot. This sounds like something a Florida man would do. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our series on Florida Man. Anyway, so while the plague is not as widespread as it was in the past, it's still not something you want to get. Treating the plague is actually easy, but it's diagnosing it in time that's the problem. If it's untreated, you basically only have a few days left. If for some reason you find out that you have the plague, you'll want to get to the hospital as soon as you can to get treatment. The plague actually comes in 3 forms. You can get it from an infected flea, where you'd most likely get bubonic plague. You can also get septicemic plague, basically blood poisoning, or you can also get pneumonic plague. This form is especially dangerous because it's spread by coughing and the fatality rate is 100% if left untreated. The vast majority of human cases are from flea bites. There's no need to worry about the plague because only around 600 cases a year are reported. Number 9, getting Ebola. The best way to prevent Ebola is to avoid places where outbreaks occur. Okay, that's a no-brainer. But what are you supposed to do if you somehow just got Ebola anyways? Well, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do other than just trying not to panic, something that's much easier said than done. Ebola has no known cure. Although, if you do survive, you would develop antibodies against Ebola that lasts at least 10 years. The problem is that it's just unclear whether you'd be immune to additional infections. There are 6 strains of Ebola virus. One strain, the Reston Ebola, actually is not dangerous to us. The other 5 are a different story. The average fatality rate for the rest of the strain is 50%. Zaire Ebola is the most dangerous at up to 90%. Aside from intensified flu symptoms, people with Ebola basically just aren't feeling well. There's just too many symptoms to get into. There's no cure, no vaccine, and no medicine to cure Ebola. Your best bet is to avoid it altogether. So that means avoiding areas where Ebola is prevalent. Number 8, bitten by a black widow. Uh-oh, you just got bitten by a black widow. Although the black widow is famous for its unusually potent venom, the effects from a bite actually are not that dangerous. Most people who are bitten suffer no serious damage. The last fatal black widow bite reported in the US was way back in 1983. Also, a lot of black widows will just do a dry bite, which is a bite where they don't inject any venom. So if you get bitten, wash the area really well. Apply a cold compress to the area and elevate it to reduce swelling. However, you should still go see a doctor soon. You should go to the ER if you're having severe symptoms. Most commonly, you'll experience pain that's not limited to the bite location. Your chest and abdomen may get painful. The muscles in these areas may cramp up because of muscle spasms. In severe cases, your doctor will give you an antivenom. So in the rare situation where you get bitten by a black widow, there's no need to panic. Number 7, stung by a venomous scorpion. So you didn't look in your shoe and you got stung by a scorpion. What now? While the vast majority of stings are not life-threatening, a scorpion bite is still painful. Only around 25 scorpions are lethal to humans. So what are your options if you're stung by an actual venomous scorpion? Basically, get to a hospital as soon as you can. Some common symptoms of a scorpion sting are a tingling or burning sensation at the sting site, numbness, difficulty swallowing, difficulty breathing, blurry vision, or seizures. In some rare cases, pancreatitis can occur too. Try to take a picture of the scorpion. Don't try to catch it or you may just get stung a second time. Wash the sting site with soap and water. Apply a cold compress for 10 minutes on, then 10 minutes off. And most importantly, avoid aspirin or ibuprofen such as Advil or Motrin because they can cause the venom to spread through the body even faster. However, acetaminophen such as Tylenol can be taken to help with the pain. Other than that, just try to get to a hospital as soon as possible. Number 6, attacked by dogs. Dogs are man's best friend until they aren't. What are you supposed to do if a dog looks like it wants to attack? If it's a pack of dogs that seem like they're going to attack, run and try to go up a tree. Remember, dogs cannot climb. However, if it's just a single dog, don't run because one dog is much more manageable. Don't look the dog in the eye and don't smile because baring teeth is seen as a threat. If the dog hasn't done anything yet, gradually back away and don't make sudden movements as you get yourself out of the dog's line of sight. If all that doesn't work and it looks like the dog is going to come after you, remember that dogs can be intimidated. Raise your arms to make yourself look bigger and roar loudly. Throw rocks at the dog to make it think twice about coming any closer. Number 5, rabies maybe? Rabies is a disease we already have a cure for, even if Michael Scott never got the memo. In the event you get bitten by a rabid dog, bat, raccoon, or whatever, you need to go to the hospital immediately. If possible, you should try and bring the animal in, especially if it's a bat or small rodent, to confirm whether or not you have rabies. Kind of like what Jack Gangwish did here. Although the situation he created wasn't exactly the smartest. Watch the video to find out some of the other strangest situations millennials get into. If your doctor is able to find out that the animal does not have rabies, then you got lucky. Because rabies treatment shots cost several $1,000s and they're painful. If the animal does have rabies, you'll have to get the shots, but at least you'll make a full recovery. Because if you get rabies and do nothing, things quickly go downhill once the symptoms start. The survival rate is somewhere around 0. Your muscles will start to twitch and feel all tingly. The virus travels to the brain and causes inflammation, triggering a whole range of symptoms. Aggression, hallucinations, spasms, paralysis, foaming at the mouth. All that can happen if you don't get treated for rabies. Number 4, crocodile attack. So what are you supposed to do if you're attacked by a crocodile? Really, prevention is the key in this situation. If you're actually in the mouth of a crocodile, you're pretty much not making it. If you're on land and you see a crocodile, all you have to do is run and stay away. Crocodiles and alligators only are able to run around 10 miles per hour, so there's no need to run in a zigzag. It's when you can't see them that's the biggest problem. Crocodiles are remarkably fast and can grab prey in their jaws and crush it in just a few swift movements. So it's best to avoid crocodile-infested waters. Crocodiles can launch themselves vertically. Don't linger by the shoreline in places where crocodiles hang out. In crocodile country, don't hang over the sides of boats and avoid low bridges. If you're unsure that a body of water has crocodiles or alligators, throw a rock or stick in the water to make sure it's safe. If you're caught in the jaws of a crocodile, your survival rate is slim, but you have to fight back. Go for the eyes and try to smash their head. You're just trying to hold on at this point, but again, the key here is to just stay away from crocodiles and alligators. Number 3, meeting a bear. So you accidentally run into a bear. What are your options here? It's quiz time again. Which of these is actually a tactic you should employ in the right situation? Is it A, run away as fast as you can, or B, play dead, or is it C, climb a tree, or D, go for its cub? If you chose D, then you're just crazy, bruh. The correct answer is B. Playing dead is the only correct tactic here. However, only in the right situation. We'll get into that in a minute. What you don't want to do is try and run. The bear is much faster than Usain Bolt, so yeah, that bear's gonna catch you. So when you are supposed to play dead, well, in most cases, a bear attack is a defensive attack. In other words, you are in their territory and they view you as a threat, not dinner. However, before playing dead, you should back away, talking calmly, and waving your arms so the bear identifies you as a human and not another animal. If it keeps advancing and actually makes contact, this is when you play dead. Lay down in the fetal position and cover your neck. Chances are it'll swipe at you and possibly even take a bite. It's not going to feel great, but once it's done that, it'll most likely leave you alone. However, if it's an aggressive attack, your situation is much worse. You cannot play dead here. The bear thinks you're food, so you have to fight back. Basically, you have to fight as hard as you can and make a lot of noise. The simple rule of thumb is if you surprise a bear, the attack would most likely be a defensive attack. You should back away. If a bear surprises you in your area, then it's time to stand tall, make a lot of noise, and if you have bear spray, it's time to put it to use. So what was the answer to the quiz question earlier? What statement was not true about sharks? The answer is C. Great white sharks do not have the largest brain to body weight ratio for any fish. That distinction goes to the Peters elephant nose fish. Number 2, venomous snake bite. One bite from a venomous snake and you have very little time. Snakes in general are not aggressive to humans, but they're still feared anyways. Snakes can deliver a heavy dose of neurotoxins that affects the central nervous system that will often send a person into paralysis, then a coma, and then we all know what happens next. If you ever get bitten by a venomous snake, don't suck out the venom or try to cut out the venom. Try to take a picture of the snake so it can be identified and the right antivenom can be given to you. Try to stay calm because the higher your heart rate, the faster the venom spreads. Keep the bite below your heart and try to wash the wound. Of course, while you're doing all this, get to the nearest hospital as soon as you can. Even with the right antivenom, there's still a chance of losing a limb or worse. Every minute counts because the venom can easily eat away muscle tissue slowly. Number 1, kidnapped abroad. What are your options if you're kidnapped? Humans are the most dangerous animal on this list. The most important thing you'll have to figure out is why you were kidnapped. If they're doing it for ransom, then you'll have much more time to negotiate a release. However, the biggest difference is if you're kidnapped for another reason, such as a political reason, then you definitely have to try to escape as soon as you can. Because most people kidnapped for these reasons don't make it for that long, and they're kidnapped as an example. Escaping is tough though. Your priority is to fake like you're going to cooperate because you definitely don't want extra restraints. Avoid eye contact and appear submissive. If they don't think you'll fight back, they're more likely to slip up. Try and build a relationship with your captors and try to get them to do you small favors, such as asking for food or water. In the meantime, you're going to have to make a mental note of the route the kidnappers took. You'll have to be hyper alert even if you're blindfolded in order to escape. The more intel you have, the better the chances of your escape. Watch this next video to find out about the worst things people have found out about each other.